Welcome to Black History Monday, the show that takes you on a journey through Black history to expose our contributions, as well as many racial massacres hidden from history. So sit back, free your mind, and follow me on this journey. Springfield Race Riot of 1908. The Springfield Race Riot of 1908 were events of mass racial violence committed against African Americans by a mob of about 5,000 white Americans and European immigrants in Springfield, Illinois, between August 14th and 16th, 1908. As a result of yet another lie told about innocent black men, mobs of whites furiously spread out to attack black neighborhoods, murdered black citizens on the streets, and destroyed black businesses and homes. The state militia was called out to quell the rioting. In 2008, an NPR report on the centenary of the race riot said that the fact of its taking place in a northern state, specifically in the land of Lincoln, demonstrated that blacks were mistreated across the country, not just in the South, and described the event as a proxy for the story of race in America. This was a brutal two-day assault by several thousand white citizens on the black community triggered by the transfer of a black prisoner charged with rape. This false accusation was later withdrawn. It is nice that the lie was rescinded, but what did that do to bring back all of the dead black people or the property that was destroyed? So this happened because a white mob had been thwarted in an attempt to lynch two black inmates in the Sangamon County Jail. In a blind, race-driven rage, they destroyed dozens of black-owned businesses and homes in Springfield. Other deaths connected to the riots happened in the days before and after it ended. Civil rights activists were appalled about this incident, and they started a series of meetings which led to the formation of the NAACP. Now, I won't knock the NAACP, but I've had some incidents that have occurred, and they were not all that helpful for me. Tension along the racial lines existed among the people who lived in Springfield in 1908. At this time, approximately 50,000 people were living there. The tension was simmering for approximately 1 month after the first of the two high-profile accusations. Somewhere on June 1st, 1908, a 17-year-old black teenager named Joe James jumped off a freight train passing through Springfield. Police ordered him to leave, but he remained in town and was eventually arrested for loitering. On the evening of July 4th, he was granted temporary parole. Now, that night, an intruder who resembled Joe James entered the home of Clergy Ballard, who was a popular mining engineer. His daughter screamed, and he caught the intruder, and the two got into a scuffle inside the house. Ballard returned bleeding profusely and died the next day. Ballard's sons and other men began searching the neighborhood. They found Joe James and beat him senseless. Police arrived and broke it up. James denied any knowledge of the incident. There wasn't much backlash after that, and the trial could have been held without incident. But, as was the case with most of these massacres, a white woman, Mabel Hallam, falsely claimed a black man named George Richardson sexually assaulted and dragged her from her Springfield house near midnight on Thursday, August 13, 1908. As you can imagine, angry mobs grew outside the jail. To make matters worse, The sheriff decided to sneak them out of jail thinking the mob would go home. Instead, the crowd became incensed when they learned the car that took the prisoners away belonged to Harry Loper, a white downtown restaurant owner. An estimated 5,000 rioters destroyed Loper's restaurant and torched his car. Then organized groups methodically decimated dozens of black businesses and tenant rooms with bricks, torches, and bullets. Several black residents, either working downtown or who were out at the wrong place at the wrong time, were attacked and beaten. They spent the next 4 hours torching roughly 40 black homes, avoiding those lived in by whites. At about 2 a.m., the mob reached Scott Burton's home. Burton had already lost his barbershop business and had sent his family away. He was soon beaten and lynched. His body was mutilated for the next half hour with bullets and knives. The militia troops are the only reason the rioting stopped. The next morning, during the aftermath, many black residents either fled or sought refuge. Some even hid in basements of white neighbors. Law enforcement officers did their best to stop the violence. By the late evening, the mobs reorganized. They reached the home of William Donegan, an elderly 84-year-old black man and retired shoemaker who owned considerable property. He also happened to be married to a white woman. Rioters dragged him out of his home. They slashed his throat and proceeded to lynch him. Militia and city police arrived as Donegan was being raised. He died the next day. More than 100 white residents would be indicted on riot-related charges, including murder, but only one person, Abe Raymer, an accused ringleader, was charged in relation to the riots, with petty larceny. Richardson had been one of the several black laborers working on a house near her home and made an easy scapegoat. So once again, we have a lie that completely ruined the lives of black people just living their lives and trying to build a community. In present day, we're always told that we need to take care of our communities and not allow them to be run down. So as you look throughout history, you start to see the pattern coming together. Our communities were being taken care of. They were some of the best communities in the country. The problem is, angry white racism has always brought those communities down. Next week, Monday, we will continue on this journey as we walk through the doors of history. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share. Click the notification bell so you'll be notified when we upload new videos. Find The Awakening Frequency on Twitter, Instagram, and on Facebook. Research is key. Always do your own research and never just listen to what people tell you. We are The Awakening Frequency. Out of the millions of potential subscribers, we just want to reach one so each one can teach one. Peace.